Good evening, everyone. I am back. It is Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we are continuing with live read with me sessions of someone exactly like me. It is a slow burn, friends to lovers, Hollywood hero romance. The heroine is a romance author. They strike a business deal that gets a little heated, shall we say. And this book follows their journey to happily ever after with some ups and downs. Let us go ahead and get started. I'll read a little bit of, and over here on YouTube, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you like what you're listening to, go ahead and like my video and share it with any of your friends. All right, we are in Destiny's point of view. Yes, we're in Destiny's point of view. We're about to jump to Nico's point of view, but right now we're in Destiny's point of view. Getting tangled up in a relationship would destroy that. And right now I need to get my career back on track. Thank you, Nico. I smile and take the pig from him. Are you ready for that cotton candy now? Yes, let's go. We find cotton candy and I pick out a pink one. What color do you want? I ask. No, I'm not having any. Are you sure? I'm fine. I'm full from lunch. I'll have a bite of yours. Okay, I get money out of my purse. No, he says, putting his hand on mine. This is part of my requested tour. I'll pay. But Nico, you're not even having any. I can pay for my own cotton candy. Do you want to insult me? He asks, stone-faced. Well, no, it's just he pulls out his money and pays. We stroll to the side of the pier and gaze out over the water. I don't like getting my hands sticky, so I poke my tongue into the fluffy pink candy and curl pieces into my mouth. Since he said he wanted a bite, I figured I better offer before I finish the whole thing myself. Here, I point the puffy ball toward him. Like a big kid, he sticks his mouth into it, yanking out a wad and eating it. Cotton candy is stuck to his mustache and scruffy chin. I can't help but laugh at him. What? He looks around, pretending he doesn't know it's all over his face. I laugh harder, then wet the napkins I grabbed with the water he bought me. I reach up and take his strong jaw in my hands. Here, I'll get it off. I dab at his chin, then his mustache, avoiding looking into his gorgeous brown eyes. It takes a few strokes to get it all off. Thank you. His seductive grumble pulls my gaze to his eyes. You're welcome. My words are breathier than I intend. I continue my ritual, sticking my tongue in the cotton candy and grabbing pieces, curling them into my mouth as we quietly look over the water. I finish my last bite, and I know my lips are sticky with sugar. I glide my tongue around my lips, savoring the last bits of sweetness before I wipe my mouth with the napkin. Feeling his eyes on me, I turn toward him. He chuckles. You amuse me, he says, leaning against the railing and facing me while I look back out toward the water. How do I amuse you? I ask, returning my gaze to him. You're sexy like a woman and cute like a little girl. Has the sugar gone to my head? This is the second time he's called me sexy. Blood rushes through me and I lift my eyes shift back and forth between his. I don't know what to say to that. No response is required, he says flatly, then looks out to the water. We stand silently for a few minutes, listening to the waves crash against the piles and seagulls sing above us. Now we're jumping to Nico's point of view. Doing great. Good. All right, so we're Nico's point of view. The more time I spend with her, the more I want to know about her. I feel like we're becoming friends. It's a strange feeling for me, but nice. How is it she's still single? I'm kind of surprised you haven't married yet, I say, not looking at her. I was engaged once. I shift my body to face her. Really? Yeah. She looks at me and then back out to the water. Well, that was until I caught him the week before our wedding, lip-locked with his childhood best friend. A sting pinches my heart. Destiny, I'm so sorry. I know the hurt of being cheated on. What happened? She turns to face me. A light breeze tousles her ponytail. I always had my suspicions about them. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous, incredible body, beautiful face. She looks at me. Someone you'd be with. And she was actually really nice. We got along great. She shakes her head. There always seemed to be flirtatious energy between them, though. They both denied anything more than friendship. I always felt there was something more. Anyway, I'd left my wedding planner at his house and wanted to go over a few things, so I stopped by to get it. That's when I walked in on him and Tessa, half naked, making out. Thunk. My heart drops for her. What did you do? What could I do? I ran out, drove home sobbing, and I cried in my room for the rest of the day. Candy came over and stayed with me. You didn't scream or throw things at them? She laughed. No, I tend to get hurt rather than angry. Don't get me wrong, I was crushed. And I was definitely mad for a while, but more mad at myself for not trusting my instincts. The women I've dated would have been enraged and tried to beat up the other woman. I chuckle. She laughs harder. Nope, not me. I took my broken heart and ran away. We met the next day to talk. He apologized and tried to tell me it didn't mean anything. I looked him in the eye and told him he needed to figure out what his feelings were for Tessa because there was very obviously something more than just friendship. He wasn't a bad guy. I mean, what he did wasn't nice, but I wanted him to be happy. I wanted both of us to be happy. Plus, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me. Clearly, he didn't. She rests her arm on the railing. How were you so okay with it? Pain sits in her eyes. I wasn't. She pauses, looking out at the water. I was devastated for a long time. He broke my heart. A sheen veils her eyes, and my heart is heavy for her. But once I had some distance from it and really looked at our relationship, I knew it was for the best. There was never a mutual investment in our relationship. She cast her gaze downward, then back up. And he never looked at me the way he looked at her. The sadness in her voice tugs at my heart. How did he look at her? She sighs, with a passion that went beyond physical desire, respect, admiration, a deep longing. She looks down at her feet, shaking her head. I don't know how to explain it. I reach out and touch her arm. She looks into my eyes. It's okay. You don't have to explain. We both face the water again, quiet, listening to the sounds of the chattering voices and singing seagulls. Is there anything else you want to do here? I ask. You have to ride the Ferris wheel. The view from the top is beautiful. Okay, let's go. We get in line and it moves quickly. Within 5 minutes, we're nestled into a gondola. Ascending higher, the view is quite beautiful, as she said it would be. The big wheel lazily spins twice, eventually stopping at the top. The breeze feels nice against my skin. Suddenly, she grabs my thigh, and not in a sensual way. Her grasp is firm, nails digging into my skin. When I look at her, her already fair skin is ghostly pale, and she's clutching her chest. Adrenaline zaps me as I turn my body toward her. Destiny, what's wrong? She stares straight ahead. Her breathing is rapid, and her entire body is trembling. She looks at me with fear sharp in her eyes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She shakes her head. I didn't expect this. Expect what? What's happening to you? Her nails still digging into me and her breathing still fast. She continues. I didn't think to tell you. She breathes in and out. It hasn't happened in so long. What? What hasn't happened? She breathes. I'm having a panic attack, she says, taking my hand and placing it between her breasts. Her heart beats wildly. Holy shoot. I withdraw my hand and take her hand from my thigh, holding it in both of mine. Tell me what to do. How do I help you? Do we need to get off? I can yell down to them. She gazes forward again, breathing in deeply, focused. No, she releases the breath. I'll be okay. She continues her focused breathing as her body continues trembling. It's okay, she nods, trying to assure me, but I'm freaking out. What can I do? I want to help you. She exhales. When we spin down, she inhales. I want to get off. She exhales, shuddering, then clutches our clasped hands to her chest. Her other hand has a death grip on the pig and is curled into her stomach. I sit closer to her, putting my arm around her shoulders, trying to make her feel safe. Until then, there's really nothing you can do, she inhales. I'm so sorry about this. She shakes her head vigorously, inhaling and exhaling, rocking her body back and forth. Please, no, it's okay. I'm here. I stroke her arm. Finally, the wheel begins moving. As we get closer to the bottom, I shout to the operator, excuse me, sir, we need to get off right now. Thankfully, he hears me and slows the wheel as we approach the bottom. The operator opens the gondola door. Thank you so much, I say, getting out and holding my hands out for her. Man, is she okay? Do I need to call an ambulance? No, I'm fine, she says breathless as she trembles, sweat glistening on her face. It's just a panic attack, and I know how to manage it, she breathes. Thank you for stopping for us, she breathes. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. It's fine, ma'am. You feel better now. Wrapping my arm around her tiny shaking body, I walk us to a bench. She clutches my other hand into her. I sit on the bench, release her, and squat down in front of her. Destiny, what can I do? I'd love some cold water. The quaver in her voice rips at me. I don't want to leave her, but I want to help her. Okay, I'll be right back. Stay here. As I rise, she clasps her hands together tightly around the pig in her lap, her shoulders hunched inward. My heart aches. I quickly find the closest place that sells water and return to her. Opening the bottle, I hand it to her. She takes it with her trembling hands, and the water spills out and down her arms. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I take the bottle from her and sit next to her. Putting the bottle to her lips, I slowly tilt it into her mouth. She sucks it in. Destiny, please stop apologizing. It's okay. I just want to understand what's happening to you so I can help. I'll tell you, she breathes. I just need to focus on my breathing, she inhales, and calm my heart rate. I didn't bring my emergency medicine. Taking the water bottle in both of her hands, she puts it up to her lips and sips. I sit quietly as she closes her eyes and breathes. I feel helpless. Still with her eyes closed, she reaches out to hold my hand, gripping it tightly. I slide closer to her. As the minutes pass and she breathes in and out, seeming to follow a rhythm, the tremors begin fading. Loosening her grip on my hand, she releases a long sigh and opens her eyes. Her shoulders relax down and the color comes back to her skin. Her breathing is normal again. Are you okay? I'm okay. Her nod reassures me. Are you afraid of heights? She giggles. No, I'm not afraid of heights. I started having panic attacks about 4 years ago, but I haven't had one in a long time. That's why I don't have my emergency medicine with me. I didn't need it. I haven't needed it. Why did that happen to you? I'm not sure, to be honest. Usually for me, it's a claustrophobic thing, like I'm not in control of what's happening. The first time I had one, I was on an airplane and I explained to the flight attendant that I wanted to get off the plane that instant. Well, we were in the air and getting off the plane obviously wasn't possible. I remained calm as I was telling her what was happening, but inside my heart was racing, my body was vibrating, and I felt all the muscles in my body were seizing. And I thought I was dying. It was the most scared I've ever been in my life. So that sounds horrifying. I can't imagine what it must feel like, even after her description and watching her go through one. I guess because we were up there and I wasn't in control of us getting down, it must have triggered something. She lowers her head. I'm so embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I squeeze her hand. She must not have realized she was holding my hand because she releases it immediately. I'm sorry, she says. It's fine. I take her hand back in mine. I like having her hold my hand. I'm glad I was here with her when this happened. And I ruined the ride for you. The beautiful features of her face draw down into a frown. I don't care about that. I care about you. As I gaze into her eyes and say the words, I feel their truth in my core. I'm starting to have feelings for her, feelings beyond physical attraction and wanting to get between her legs. Well, that's probably a good stopping point. How about we stop there for tonight? I think that's a good stopping point. Oh yeah, that's a good stopping point. All right, someone exactly like me. I hope you're enjoying it. It's available on Amazon in ebook and paperback and free to read on Kindle Unlimited. What else? Remember to subscribe, especially if you're enjoying this, and be sure to join me tomorrow night. If you are watching on YouTube, you can join me for the live sessions on TikTok. And if you miss it on TikTok, you can head on over to YouTube and catch up on things. Thank you over here on YouTube. Have a great night. TikTok, stay here. I will be right back.